Oh, it is. There we go. I don't know. Listen, you step away from your streaming setup for like a month or so, and then it completely decides to mess up. Don't like that. Don't like that at all. Anyway, hello. As I was saying, it's good to see you guys. Hello. Audible now. Thank you, Marilyn. Hello. YouTube chat. And now it doesn't look like the autoclave is working. Everything's broken. I can't stand this. How does everything break? Thank you for the autoclave. Thank you. Thank you for checking in, Weedapix. And hello, Conductive. And thank you for the sub, Ripco. And thank you, Tomiya. Thank you. And thank you for checking in. Okay, hi YouTube people. I primarily stream on Twitch, and so I have a lot more like interactive things that go on Twitch, since, you know, YouTube is a bit more limited in that regard. But I still appreciate you, and I see you guys. I see you. I read your chat. Don't worry. This is my first time streaming because I want to see if there's an audience for the YouTubers, you know? But don't worry, Twitch people. I will still acknowledge, I still appreciate all the bacteria buds, no matter which platform you might be on. Anyway, hello. I was on summer vacation, if you didn't know. Hello, Glad. Thank you. I am the science lady. How are you? I was on summer vacation for the last month and a bit. I wasn't streaming at all, though I did upload some videos while I was gone. I was trying to, like, kind of be offline in a way. I didn't want to keep my brain, like, plugged into the internet ether space, because it's so bad for you when you're just constantly chronically online like I am. I gotta figure out why this broke. I don't know why it's not moving me anymore. I'm too big for the autoclave now. The autoclave doesn't want to get moved. But I appreciate your autoclave. Thank you. Apparently it successfully went. I should have done some more testing off stream. I did get here from your YouTube, that's why I was interested in their streams about. Oh yeah, my streams are mostly, well, this stream is just gonna be like catching up and talking about what's been going on. I've been mostly relaxing. I've been reading a lot of science papers. I've had so many ideas for some streams and some new videos. I'm also in the midst of like making a longer video script. I need to like still iron out those details, but you know, I'm excited for that. Good things are coming in the way. Hope you had a great vacation. Thank you, Dr. Z-Track. Yeah, it was really good. It was very nice to finally be clicked and relaxed. You got a virus? Oh no. I'm so sorry. I know some people right now who have COVID, and the current COVID variant that's been going around is so nasty, you guys. It's not like deadly, but it sure doesn't look like a fun time. All I hear about is like it gives you like this glass, like it's like feels like glass is in your throat, and you're constantly post-nasal dripping, and your chest feels like it has to constantly keep coughing, and the medication that's out there doesn't really work that well against it, because it's not really congestion based. You're just getting irritated by your post-nasal drip. It sounds awful, and I hope anyone who has it watching, please, I hope you get better soon, because it sounds awful, and I'm glad I didn't catch it while I was out traveling and about. You posted a video about people using AI pictures in research? Yes, I did. That's still, unfortunately, a thing. There's still a lot of people that use a lot of different AI pictures in their research and in their science in scientific posters. I haven't seen anything as egregious as the testicle rat AI picture, but you know, it's not, you know, at least that's good? Question mark? Well, look who finally decided to stream. Hi, Peppermint. It's good to see you. I've appreciated all your wonderful Discord messages. Sometimes it feels almost over the top how supportive and positive they are, but I do like reading them. So thank you, and it's good to see you again. I haven't heard of a new COVID outbreak here yet. It's not like, unfortunately, with how COVID works now, you don't really like. You're probably likely not going to hear about it unless you're tuned in. You have to be like literally tuned into what's going on. And oh gosh, okay. I'm going to refund all your autoclaves. I appreciate the autoclaves, of course, but I'm gonna refund them because they're not working as intended. I don't know what's wrong. I'm like looking at the code and I have no idea what broke while I was on vacation. What even determines how severe the symptoms of a particular variant are? Like, I guess the virus gets the capacity to resident in various tissues. I'm not very tuned into virology, unfortunately, so I'm not, like, completely certain of why certain variants get certain symptoms and why the severity increases. I know it has to do... I know, like, generally the evolution of a virus will be... how it's trending with what we see with this COVID is that it's not really killing people anymore, quote unquote. It's more like it's causing a lot more severe like symptoms of like making it easier to spread. It's easier to stay in the host for a long time, etc., etc. Again, I'm not a virology expert. Apparently, you failed at the autoclave too. It's okay, everyone. Now is a time to get some free autoclaves in, even though they don't work properly. It's like with the flu. Yeah, the flu's also been pretty bad lately. As I always say, it's a little early though, but now is the time to start preparing and thinking about getting your vaccines, get your shots and all that. It's really important. All the people I know that got caught with like the flu or this new COVID variant, they haven't gotten like any kind of shot for a long time. So, you know, probably might be a reason to think about getting that this fall. I'm pretty happy. Like, I traveled a bunch. And I didn't get any kind of sickness. I think the closest I got was like a little tickle in my throat, and that was it. I got sick earlier this week, but that was like definitely different reasons. Sensitive tummy, microbial gut microbe issues. I remember some yammer about microclots and cell fusion in the context of COVID infections. I have read a bit about those things. I guess I'd be curious to see where the COVID research is now. I actually haven't read up on like the latest kind of research. Makes me think there might be things I'm like clueless about now. But again, viruses, I'm gonna admit, you guys, like, I love science, love all kinds of microbial organisms, love immunology, love all of that. Viruses, they're not really my strong suit, I will say. I took a virology class in undergrad, and a little partially bit in grad school, and I feel like they were not very well taught. Why are some shadows blurred in your window? Why are they? They are like... Everything's messed up. I have no idea why the font text, the font color is messed up. I had to get a new chat overlay, so I'm not surprised that it's broken. Because it's the only way that I can get YouTube and Twitch stream, like Twitch chat, to combine into one. So you guys are fused into one. But I think something is broken with how I set it up. Let me double check while I yap to you guys. Anyway, how has everyone been? How has the peak of your summers been going? I feel like it's been incredibly hot in most places. So I wouldn't be surprised if you guys are also dealing with some gross humidity, gross weather, gross temperature, gross heat. It's like currently right now it's like 30 something C, and it is incredibly uncomfortable. Stream elements. Also, it's been a while since I've streamed, and I've like seated into my streaming chair in my PC for a bit, and I forgot how hot it can get in this area, and I'm like, it's burning. I am very hot. Let's see. I need to fix my setup. I need to fix everything. Everything's broken. But that's okay. We'll fix it. We're about to go into another 30C heatwave in the upcoming weekend. We already had 2 heat waves before with a peak at 40C. The human country is really annoying. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think like all around the world, I've seen such crazy reports of record-breaking heat happening. I watched it in like what is it? South Korea, Japan, and China. They had like 40C plus heat record temperatures, and that's so insane to me, especially given how humid and gross those countries are in the summer. When I've gone to Japan in the summer, it's like the nastiest time. It feels like you're like swimming in like this gross funk of like gross air. Waiting for that super duper El Nino. Yeah, we are just simply in like the waiting room of like things to pass. Right now, the weather here, I'm waiting for like all the thunderstorms to pass, and then it's supposed to cool down by so much. Like it won't even feel like the same kind of area. I know there's like transposons, which I understand are like residual parts of the viruses dotted through the human genome, which the most are inactivated by ZNF proteins as far as I know. Yeah, it's a little like out of my knowledge scope, because it's been a bit since I've talked about, like, if I've worked on viruses or like thought about viruses beyond just like a preliminary surface view, unfortunately. But yeah, there are like transposons. Isn't the heat supposed to be good for bacteria? I don't think I'm that kind of bacteria. I am supposed to enjoy the warm humidity, but I think something's wrong with my genome. I think someone put something in me to hate this, and like I'm dying. They didn't grow me right. I'm like clicking around, trying to figure out what's wrong with the fonts. It's really bad in countries with poor, non-existent AC infrastructure. I've talked about this a lot in my previous streams, but yeah, it's crazy how some countries just don't have that kind of infrastructure, or their power grids aren't capable of that kind of thing. It's just, we're going to need to figure out how to address like cooling as probably a human need, similar to how like heating right now. I think most countries, you know, they have to have that kind of infrastructure to provide heating, but we just are not there yet to realize cooling is gonna become a really big thing. Even in where I live, they're trying to figure out how to provide free ACs to a lot of people, but it's not that simple because, you know, AC equal electricity bill go up, and electricity bill go up, very expensive. And how do we help all those people that need the more electricity bill? And then also the power grid is also a problem, and blah 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 blah. It's complicated. It's really complicated. And they recommend going to cooling centers, but whenever I've gone to a cooling center, just out of curiosity, it's so uncomfortably warm, and I don't think it's doing much because there's just too many people that need the free AC. AC sales are spiking now, but they used to be really rare just a few years ago. We just didn't need them. Yeah, exactly. I have some European friends who told me, like, they didn't need an AC. Yeah, it was uncomfortable for a while, but nowadays they need that AC and it's sold out. Like, there's no way to get an AC available to them, which is really, really tough. I can't imagine going through all this like crazy heat wave and humidity with no AC. I have to I use a portable AC because of my like structure of the lab, but it's not as efficient as like central AC or even like a window AC, and it feels uncomfortable, I will say. Europe is interesting because their infrastructure is lacking air conditioning. Yeah. Did you mention the cause? Why is the world suddenly so much hotter? Well, unfortunately, there's a lot of you know, things. There's a lot of things like, you know, greenhouse gases, CO2, methane, and other GHGs, aka greenhouse gases, that come from, you know, fossil fuel combustion, and that raises the global temperature for over a century. That's a very steady, slow driver of our increasing global warming. There's also the El Nino cycles. You know, that's a complicated thing too. It's a global warming phenomenon. Hi, glad I could catch the scream. Hello, Cappy Sheep. Good to see you. I'm glad you're able to come. At least solar power is at its best under the conditions we need AC most. Famous. Yeah, if we could utilize more of the solar power for AC, that would be amazing. Unfortunately, right now, I think we're just mostly using like electricity grids that are not. I don't think they're mostly solar powered, but I have no clue for it. It could probably be different across the world. I know my area was struggling with power for a while. I get so many emails. I feel like every week I get a new email saying, please be mindful of your energy consumption. Please do not destroy the power grid. Please avoid doing laundry. Please avoid like watching TV and going to the kitchen and doing everything at once. Just wait until things get better. Please stop doing a whole bunch of electrical like work at once. Stop, citizens. Please stop. Oh gosh, I just heard the loudest thunder. It is going like crazy right now. I'm hoping that's going to stop. That's going to stop some of the heat going on, because it is sweltering. Why? Go, select, save. Oh, I know this. Besides fossil fuels, hydropower is actually the next largest renewable source. Nuclear is also pretty strong, 5% of our grid. Yeah, nuclear is also a big one. Hydro is a big one. I think, energy is a huge crisis, especially, like, but it's like a crisis that's going to need to be addressed, like, rapidly as we get into this cooling issue. And like every summer it's just been getting worse and worse. I remember there was a time when I didn't really need AC. I don't remember even using much AC when I was a child growing up. A little microbial bud in the petri dish. I would kind of just live with a fan on. And nowadays it's just like I think the AC is running like 24/7 because I will perish in like 3. I feel like there could be a business model for combo installing AC and solar panels. There probably is something like that out there. I know like a lot of places near me, you can see the solar panels like above. Like it's been going more and more and more. Of course, like installing an AC, it's always like so annoying. I know a lot of like, I live in a place that's dense with more apartment buildings rather than like homes. And it's so like, some apartment like landlords are really annoying about trying to install an AC, and you need to get written permission, and it's easy for them to say, oh no, you have to get it installed like this way so it doesn't fall out of a window and hit somebody. And like, it's so annoying to get through all of that when you're like, I'm dying of heat stroke. I can't wait like 2 weeks for you to get your service guy to install my AC. Here we have a letter begging us not to overload the power grid with solar energy from panels. Almost everyone has them, causing the grid to get overloaded on sunny days. Oh, oopsie. I am drinking a lot of water right now. I've done some reading into the use of hydrogen from solar power electrolysis as a way to produce fuels like methanol or ammonia as a way to transport energy in a stable form. Interesting. That's completely out of my realm of knowledge, but I'd love to hear, like, if you have any cool things you want to share about that, I'd love to hear about it and talk, like, learn more about that. I think energy is just it's a cool topic. I just am very my micro brain is more biological focused, specifically with immunology, microbiology, biologies. That's like where my brain is. Even though I think all of these things are cool, I wish I knew more. Love learning. Love learning. Speaking of all the heat, I think I mentioned this in Discord. I was walking, doing some microbe duties, and I think I got like a minor heat stroke yesterday while I was walking about. I didn't realize how bad it was until like I came back and I was like, wow, I'm really exhausted. I'm really tired. My body really hurts. I'm also really thirsty. Also, I can't really like think properly right now. Huh, I wonder what's wrong with me. And then the whole day I was like so tired and so like out of it. And yeah, so then I realized, oh, maybe walking around in like 32 Celsius weather without eating anything and without having any water beforehand is not very good. Maybe that caused some kind of problem for me. Anyway, don't be like me. In this weather especially, it's so easy, like, I like underestimated how easy it is to have those kind of problems. Sounds like a great combo. Yeah, it's definitely like that's my biggest problem. I do this so often. If anyone like travels with me, they know that I am a terrible preparer for a trip. I will like leave the house and then someone will remind me like, excuse me, you haven't eaten, you haven't drank anything, you haven't used the bathroom. Is this, are you truly prepared to leave your abode? I don't think so. But if I don't have anyone, I just like, I go out into the world and then I perish and wonder, why did I perish? I've been holding ice packs of myself to try and not die. It's a good idea. I gotta remember to just bring water bottles with me. I don't remember ever really needing to do that before, but nowadays, like, I feel like I'm going to, like, I can't make it. Doesn't help there's, like, so many people around me, too. It was fine when I was walking, I was doing my little micro walk normally, and then I entered an area that was like full of a bunch of people, and their collective breathing and presence and bodies just added like, oh my gosh. And they were also walking very slow, just incredibly slow. Aside from all of that, and all the heat, and all the complaining, and all of that, my vacation was really good. I have a lot of fun ideas that were brewing in my head that I can talk more about. I have some emotes cooking, some new emotes that I think I have one more slot for Twitch that I can use, and I can't use any on YouTube just yet because I don't have any like membership status, but eventually these will go on YouTube whenever that happens, and they'll also be on our Discord channel, free to use as always. I didn't get to work on some of the things I really wanted to work on, but then I realized it's probably for the best because I should be relaxing instead of like trying to use the vacation to work. So I haven't worked on my model, haven't done much of that. We do have an art stream to do the chibi model work again. We're gonna kick that back. Hopefully that can finish by the end of this year. And did I work on anything else. I have a lot of recorded video audios. I just have to work through those. I have a script coming, and a script for my long form video that's going to be something like maybe like 10 to 20 minutes. Hoping to do, it's my what I'm thinking it's mostly gonna be framed about is academia and research. I think just broadly talking about them, maybe some little quips of me not liking them, but for the most part, just broadly talking about that. Well, vacation is to relax and do nothing. I get it. I know, bro, the vacation is to relax and do nothing, but also I feel like, you know, it's like free time, and then I want to like do things, and it's hard for me not to do something. I always feel like I should be doing something. This vacation was a good reminder that I don't need to always be doing something. It's okay to not do something. And, you know, sometimes the brain works better because you got to not do something, you know? My brain now can think about... My brain is now more open about, like, future content things instead of I was, like, so focused on, like, the present. I saw such good science papers that I want to like do some shorts on, but then there's also some that I feel like I can merge into one maybe and to do a longer video. There is one especially that I think would be kind of interesting. It was recently. It was posted, yeah, like a few days ago now. It was about how they've been using AI to generate genomes, and those genomes were capable of creating actual viruses. And so I thought that could be an interesting topic to kind of talk about the role of AI and this like pathogenic bioweapon angle that a lot of general science platforms are trying to push as like it's super dangerous, but it's like a reality. It's not as dangerous as people might think. So I think that'll be interesting. The reality of this is that it's gonna be... The reality of that research really is that the people, if it is like as dangerous as they're making it seem, it's already been like a danger. Those people who are capable of creating harm were already capable of creating harm for like... or already capable of creating harm in their labs without AI, is kind of the gist of it. There's definitely patterns to find and understand in the genome. There are, and I think the AI is very, very good at that because it's so good at pattern recognition compared to humans. Humans, often we get, like, it's hard to find patterns in such a large, like, spread thing like a genome. But we don't... It's interesting to see that application. Sounds like ammo for conspiracy theorists. Yeah, I do think, like, I saw a lot of people, like, you know, maybe, like, they're just memeing, but, like, it's like, oh my gosh, it's the start of a zombie, like, apocalypse, or we're gonna have, like, COVID-2, or something like that. And it's, like, well-placed memes, obviously, because, you know, it is funny to joke about, like, oh my gosh, what if zombie? However, I think, like, it does create some fear. I'm sure there are people that read that and go, this is scary. And that's fair. We're trying to make people less fear. Interesting for sure, terrifying equal measure. Yeah, I agree. Hello, Shiphunt. Hello. Did you see ARV expand a lot of authors for using AI generated citation? I did see that. I wanted to also talk about that. I feel like it's not like... AI is a very controversial topic, especially online. I feel like the controversy is like very amplified online. It's hard to talk about it in like a nuanced way, but I do think there's a lot of interesting things right now, like how science is tackling AI as a tool, and also how it's like AI has caused a lot of problems in science, especially when it comes to like the paper and like how they're using AI generated citations. The AI generated citations is like a terrible one. I've seen this one a lot too, because people are so... I've done a lot of peer review, and I'm gonna admit here, it is very difficult to check every single citation as part of the peer review process. Sometimes these people submit papers that have like 200 plus citations, and like I just don't have that time to like click on every single thing. Oh, thank you for checking in, Kerlotus. Hello. I'm more afraid of people cutting corners and no longer knowing what their AI is actually doing. I agree. That is a big concern. People should definitely understand what their AI is doing. It's very easy to tell Claude or ChatGPT or whatever one of these models you're using to just go ahead and go forward and not double check that work and just keep letting it go and go and go, and you have no idea what's going on. And it becomes like you're so far removed from what the science is or what you're talking about. COVID, but we're already at COVID-19. COVID-19 2. COVID-19 2? 9192? I think the biggest issue with AI is how it pollutes information that looks okay at first glance. I feel like checking citation could be... Yeah, that is like one of the big problems. It's very easy for AI to generate something that just looks good at a glance. It's like at one point AI would generate something and it looked like it was very clearly wrong, but nowadays it's easy to kind of like fool yourself into thinking, oh, I don't need to double check it. I looked at a few things, it looks all good. And a lot of times I've noticed, like in my own work, because we have to use a lot of AI for the amount of data we generate and data and research we do, it's difficult to like you go like, oh my gosh, that's wrong, and it's like in the middle of a bunch of like data it's generated, and then you have to like you really have to be careful. I feel like checking citations could be ominous, so at least papers at least exist. Yeah, I think it's like one part that like the papers don't even exist. That one's like the insane part. And I think a lot of times these authors that were generating citations that were completely AI hallucinated, it is just like a giant list of like this author doesn't exist. But then there's also like the deeper issue of sometimes they are real papers and maybe like are real, but they're hallucinating the statements that paper has. Like that information doesn't actually exist, or that what you're using to support your argument from that paper it's not real. And I've seen that happen myself. Has anyone heard of consensus AI or use anything like it? I actually do not know that. The early GAN homunculi were kind of hauntingly cool in their own way. They were. I'm not that science literate, but I like using it to find consensus on a topic. Interesting. I am not familiar with that. Or warp completely out of context. Yeah, like the AI can completely warp things out of context. It is a powerful tool. And I think as someone who uses the tools, especially the more like premium tools for their work, like I have like the paid versions for my work, like my research centers. It can do a lot of crazy things, but like sometimes the amount of data it can generate is like it puts almost a little bit more burden onto you as the worker, because they're like, okay, it just gave me like 1,000 citations, and that's cool. I'm glad that it gave me 1,000 citations, but now I have to kind of like look through these 1,000 citations. I feel like there should be some kind of knowledge graph system or something when using these models for tasks required. The models can be handy for finding keywords that literature uses to discuss the subject. Yeah, the AI models have gotten a lot better with finding specific keywords. So before, there was a time when you would use it to look for things in PubMed that it would just generate like, it would hallucinate like 7 out of 10 times the paper. It would just like create like a fake paper or like fake context, and it still happens nowadays, but it's definitely gotten more sophisticated because of the way it can look for keywords or like metadata. it's still not perfect, and I don't know if it'll ever be perfect. And if it ever is perfect, I might be out of a science writing job. Anyway, there's a lot of interesting topics on that. I have to just broach them very carefully because it can be very complicated again to talk about AI on the internet. It's very easy. Sometimes even like talking about the fact that I use like AI models for work, sometimes I've like encountered people that go like, oh my gosh, you use AI. It's like, I don't... It's part of my workflow. Like, it's part of my research. I can't not use it. I can, if like, it's gonna... We're at like a level of like productivity that we need to reach that it's hard to not use it, I should say. I hope it never gets processed as field like people would get lazy real fast. I don't think it would ever get to a point where it would be perfect, but you know, maybe who knows? I don't know. It got way more advanced in the years than I expected, considering like, what was it, like 4 years ago? It was like the DALL-E models that like made very weird hallucinated like images that look very funky, and now it can do some crazy image generation. You don't want to end up like Hank Green. Oh, I was keeping, and I was like watching that whole Hank Green thing and like unravel, and I did like, I felt bad that the guy was so overworked. He was, it's not like there was pressure from the outside, but he put so much pressure on himself to produce at that kind of content creation rate where he felt like he needed to utilize AI. I don't think I will say I don't use AI like at all for things in my hobbies, like everything outside of my work life. I don't think about AI. I see Claude enough in my 9 to 5. I don't need to see him after my 9 to 5. But I hope that Mr. Hank Green can get the time to, like, he needs to actually create the work that he creates the work he wants to create without feeling like the pressure of needing to create so much that he needs to utilize tools like AI that like cut corners. I really respect him, so I do too. He's an important science educator. I kind of worry about what kinds of entities might emerge if we keep treating them so subaltern. Who knows? It's kind of fascinating to see how it might evolve. The best way to understand the AI progress done in the past couple of years is to see the progress of Will Smith eating spaghetti. Exactly, this Will Smith eating spaghetti progress is pretty insane. That barely looked human at the beginning, and now, yeah, I mean, that's Will Smith eating spaghetti. AI writing feels dry. Yeah, AI writing, I mean, there's so many like telltale signs of AI writing now, and I've heard a lot of it in video scripts too. I watched quite a lot of YouTube videos where I'm like, oh gosh, this person is doing the AI-isms. They're doing the, it's not X, it's Y. And of course, I don't want to like automatically assume it's an AI written script, because, you know, you never know, and I want to give people the benefit of the doubt. I mean, I just want to be fair to them, you know, because AI took that from humans. It's our thing. It's our thing. We were the ones making those poor writing decisions, and they just co-opted our poor writing. But now, it does like raise like a little yellow flag, you know, of like, I hear you. You're sounding like there's M dashes in your script. His content is almost always good, and he didn't use AI in script. He was falsely excused. I saw that. It's like that. Like, it sounded like an AI-ism, but it was just his normal writing, and I don't like the kind of like AI witch hunting in that way. Like, unless there's like real clear evidence. I hate the witch hunts. I see that even in the art community. Like, so many times I pop onto Twitter and there's some person like red circling someone's illustrations and saying, this is an AI, look at this red circle, and I can't jive with that. I don't like that kind of behavior. I guess I'm mostly thinking about Isaac Arthurson, where these days most of his stuff feels like reading LLM, which I mostly tune out. I think audiences are getting more in tune with like how that kind of writing might sound. It doesn't really, especially if it's the long-time creator and you kind of hear that their voice has just changed in a way that doesn't really naturally sound like how they've written scripts before. I think the average person is pretty like good at picking that up, even if they themselves, maybe they don't even agree, or they might go like, I wouldn't notice that kind of behavior. It's deep in their brain, they'll kind of realize something has shifted, and maybe in a way they don't really like. I have no problem with people using AI as long as people have the ability to understand what it did and not just accept everything at face value. In my opinion, it occurs when AI creates bogus data and then use that data to build its next step, while humans won't and can't find that mistake. I agree. I think it's hard for me to say, like, I think there's usages of AI I'm not a big fan of. I really don't like it in like the creative spaces. I think people have beautiful like expression, and it feels sad when they feel like they need to use AI in some way. But it's complicated. It's very complicated. It's sort of some subconscious intuition. I agree. I think it is like a bit of subconscious. I really don't like AI replacing creative decisions and expression. Yeah, it's very difficult in the creative space. I feel very like, I want to see people create things. It doesn't have to be perfect. I think there's beauty in the imperfection. Personally, I feel like creative field is going to get hit hard by AI. If you rapidly need images or backgrounds, AI builds them much faster and cheaper than an artist, so it'll eventually become economical suicide to build everything using artists. Yeah, it's going to be very, very challenging to see how the creative fields are going to survive this. I have like a lot of friends that are, you know, professional artists. Like their career is just art related, and it's like they're having a lot of hard times finding anything because companies are going like, well, I can just generate something, and that's very that hurts to see. I don't even think about myself. I was going to go to art school at one point, and my like whole thing I wanted to do was be like a studio animator, and I learned it's becoming very difficult to do that. Very, very hard. Very, very, very hard. Honestly, I use it to organize my thoughts. Sometimes I put down my bullet points, have it tell me how to connect the ideas. I think at work, I do that quite a bit. Sometimes I have like a vomit of information that I need to like put down, and I need it to organize all these like thoughts of different papers, and it's good to get that out. It saves me a lot of time. AI thumbnails are so whack. Oh gosh, I will agree. That's a huge agree. I don't know if you guys like, I'm sure you guys have seen it because it's so hard to like run away from it, but AI thumbnails just look so grody, you know? It always feels like there's way too much things happening. Like it packs so much detail, and it's like difficult to see what I'm supposed to focus on. It's nasty. I don't know why I don't know why it's so popular. Studio animator sounds harder than being a biologist. There was a point where it didn't seem like it would be that difficult. At least I wasn't planning on going into like anime studio, but more like in the cartoon, like in the Western animation kind of field. And people used to say it was like not the worst kind of job, but nowadays it's like the hardest thing to find anything. Though nowadays also biology is difficult to find stuff. I know so many people who are like struggling to get anything right now with their PhD. Like they can't find that first job to let them in. It's really hard. I have a friend who built up a graphic design company for science communications. It was going pretty well for 5 to 6 years, and the last 2 has been pretty rough for them. Yeah, I was interviewing with a company a few years ago where their whole shtick is like science communication and science writing for private industries, as in they would be the ones to help write the press releases for people's research to get posted to the general public, and also help write the grants and all that jazz. Apparently, I think that company is like now defunct because I think AI ate their nachos. They can't really find anything. Those giant pharmaceutical companies are not looking to hire these little science writing companies that do this anymore. They'd rather just work like in-house or with like AI models, which is very sad. But also, like, I think about how I completely dodged a bullet. Not that I was even invited to go to that job, but you know, what if I was? Biologists are suffering with employment too. Yeah, biology is like, it's very difficult right now to find certain jobs. I think academia, I hear it's mixed bag. I hear academia was a little easier to get into it right now because it's so unpopular. But if you want to get into like industry work, which it pays more, so obviously that's gonna be more popular, that is very difficult because you're competing with a lot of people with experience. If you don't have experience right now, it's kind of a doomed thing. They were able to pivot to different services, but it was quite tough. They had to fire a couple of people. Oh, that's really sad. Yeah, I think if I were working in that company, I probably would have gotten fired. They would have no reason to keep like a junior. Part of the trouble being that people making the hire decisions believe they don't need to hire humans anymore. That's a huge issue. Sometimes you can't even get to the people making the hiring decisions. There's like the AI mod, like AI ATS, like, which reads your resume, just chops you before even a single pair of human eyes can see you, which is so bad. I hear from my biology friends it's so difficult right now to tailor your CV and resume to a way that gets you to a pair of human eyes, because they like to look for very specific wording on like what kind of experiments you can do, like what techniques you have. And they're like, I need to make sure I write all of this. I need to make sure I don't get filtered. Something's really wrong if the highly educated are finding difficulty with work. Unfortunately, I don't even think it's just biology. I know people even in software development, software engineers, computer scientists, other just educated people with degrees, they're really struggling out here. I know it's really sad. It's not just biology in the biomedical field too. I think I follow the PhD and grad students like and lab rat subreddits and they are full of people going, I don't think I can finish my PhD, you guys. I'm not gonna get a job. I have 5 more years and I don't think I'm gonna get a job. Should I just leave? Should I do something else? What should I do? Help. So bad. So sad. Looks like everyone in that field is using a filter shortcut. A sad situation, yeah. It's quite sad. If you want to do something interdisciplinary, there's a little chance unless you were grown in a vat for their specific job. Shout out to all PhD dropouts. Shout out. Hello, Dragolance. It's good to see you in this live stream. I know you comment a ton on my shorts, and I just want to say I really appreciate your continued support. And thank God you were able to come by for the first stream. I should get like a longer playlist, but I've been really enjoying this playlist. Bam, bam, bam. Speaking of like PhD dropouts, if any of you guys are like in grad school or thinking about grad school, I think, you know, you should really think about what your career goals are. Don't go to grad school if you don't have a clear mindset on what you want to accomplish. It's fresh and funky. I know, I really like it sucks that I have to like loop it in a funny way because of the fact that I don't like the second part of the video. The second part is like in a pop punk guitar arrangement, and I'm not really into that. I just want the fresh funky music. You ever listen to The World Ends With You OST? I do. I love The World Ends With You OST. Who composes that, actually? World Ends With You. OST composer. Takeharu Ishimoto. What else? Did they only work on this? Oh, Legend of Mana and a bunch of like Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts games. Interesting. I like that soundtrack though. Not a scientist, never even got close to a PhD to begin with. No idea what it would take. A PhD, it's funny. When I went into doing my PhD before I dropped out, I totally thought it was just about being smart. It's not just about being smart is like the #1 thing I will tell you. It's about like, I think being smart is actually a very little of it. Though being smart really helps. Being smart really helps. It's mostly about like ambitions and drive, and like not getting like burnt out. And you have to be really, really stubborn. Like, you have to be okay with being told no and like you're wrong a lot and pushing forward on that. Thank you, and of course I'm glad I could catch it. I hope I never miss a video. Oh, thank you, thank you. Feels like to be effective in grad school, you need to have your particular research interests line up just with your professors available. And even when that happens, sometimes you just don't vibe with the professors, and that's really, really sucky. As someone who did not vibe with their professor, people will tell you, oh, you don't really need to get along that well with your professor. You can like, you know, you just keep doing your work and you'll like persevere and you'll get through it all. But personal experience, I say, oh my gosh, your life is so much more challenging when you don't get along with your professor, as in grad school. What's new in the micro world? I just came back from vacation and there are a lot of cool microbial papers that I saw that I can't wait to write some scripts about, and I'm gonna have to do that this weekend. And yeah, I'm excited to share all that fun information with you. Neuroprosthetic interfaces? That sounds really cool and also pretty complicated. Finding a good teacher to help you grow and learn is a challenge, but I always have hope that people out there actually enjoy helping people learn just like you. Unfortunately, maybe I'm biased because I didn't have, like, a lot of the professors I encountered were not, in a way, they didn't really want to help people learn. They just kind of wanted to do their research, and a PhD student or a grad student or any kind of like student that they come across is kind of just like a means to get their project going, not really like learning and all that, which sucks. You know, it's not great, but not much to do about that. And sometimes, you know, you can just keep going, but yeah, it's difficult. That's crazy. Getting along with the professor is the #1 thing. Vibing with them makes the... Yeah, you really want to get along with them. I was doing a hybrid study of computer engineering and material science, but it seems like that's not a useful trajectory. Oh, but I feel like that sounds like it should be. But again, out of my wheelhouse. Oh, I cut it too early. Okay, we are like, I know it's only been an hour or so, but I don't want to do too long of a stream because I have some things I need to take care of, and I do have 2 more streams this weekend. So I'll be streaming video game tomorrow, and then on Sunday I will be streaming some art. So you know, thank you. Oh, Peppermint, you came back at the worst time. I'm leaving. You ruined it. Maybe I need to apply to more places and see if I look like a good fit for their ends. I know. I think it would help to look more broadly. Sometimes you do, unfortunately, have to like maybe make some like go like, okay, I have to cut some of these parts of the interests I have so I can get some kind of work. Until you get further and further along in your career, and then you can start being more specific about your own interests and do everything you want to do. I actually understand what you mean being difficult. It took me a while to find a teacher, and he actually helped me find the fun in learning again. Yeah, it's good when they find that teacher that really inspires you and makes you want to learn more. It's like the most beautiful thing. Is Sketch going to be Friday, Saturday, or a new Sunday edition? There is a Sunday edition this week. Usually, though, it's probably going to still be Friday, Saturday. I just wanted to add the Sunday because I wanted to see you guys more. Since I was gone for like a month. And I want to make sure, you know, the stream... You know, when you've been gone for a while, Twitch hates you, so I want to make sure I stream a bit more. Like, right now, I know Twitch already doesn't want to send me, like, any video. Like, my engagement is, like, very limited because I was gone. Woe is me, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter. I'm just happy to catch up. Oh, don't worry about it. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you later in your next video. Thank you, Dragolance. Enjoy the evening. Hopefully we don't lose power in the northeast. I know, it's been, like, really awful here. Okay, I will see you all tomorrow afternoon, and if I don't see you then, I will be uploading a video shortly, like tomorrow as well. So, thank you all for watching. Can't wait to stream more. I enjoyed the YouTube chat a lot. You guys were great. YouTube was awesome. I will see you guys later. Bye, 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 bye.